about that. Hi friends, today we're going to experiment with force and we're going to try and make a balloon powered car. So I just have a little car that I made here in the projects lab, but you can use any kind of car you want and you'll need to find some balloons. But we'll talk more about that in a little bit. The first thing I want to talk about is force. And we've talked a little bit about force when we talked about levers. Force is an energy that is exerted on something. So for instance, if I have this black pen and I put it down, the pen isn't going to move itself. The pen is going to just stay there until something makes it move. For instance, I could exert force on this pen with my finger and make it roll. Now it's rolling because my finger exerted the force to make that move. I could blow on it, and then my air would be a force to blow on the pen. The pen was quite happy to be where it was. If I left for a couple weeks, this pen would still be here when I got back, unless something came along and exerted some force on it. Here's the car that I made, and has a little contraption on the top of it to hold the balloon. But if I put this car here, it's not going anywhere, even though it has wheels. And as we all know, wheels like to roll. And but it's the car, even with wheels on it, isn't going to roll unless it has some gravitational force on it, right? And if I use gravity, gravity is going to pull us down the inclined plane. So right now it's flat and it's not going anywhere. So that's force. But let's talk about the balloon for a second, because that's kind of interesting. The balloon isn't going anywhere either. It needs to figure out how to get some energy in it. If I put my air into it, like this, I've filled it up with air. And now the air is going to escape. So my balloon starts out looking like this. It's just kind of a flat balloon. It's nothing to it. It's not full of air or anything. But if I exert some energy with my face and I blow my air into the balloon, what happens? This air comes in, and now my air is going to exert force onto the balloon edges. And push the edges of the balloon out so that the balloon is going to fill up. Okay? So now my air that I put in there is pushing against the edges of the balloon, and the balloon is expanding. But what happens when the balloon gets full and I take my finger off it? Well, now we have a full balloon, and if I hold the end of it here, I have the air inside of it is pushing it out, but the elastic is also pushing it in. So right now, with my finger on it, this is what happens. There's an equal amount of force pushing in and pushing out. Okay, so that makes it stay as a balloon shape. As soon as I let my finger off, the air can escape out the side this way, and what's going to happen? The force from the outside is going to push in onto the elastic of the balloon, and it's going to shrivel up again. So the balloon makes a pretty good engine. So let's talk about what we need for today's project. You need some kind of car. Now I happen to have this car, but if you have any kind of toy car around that will roll by itself, okay, then you can use that. I have a balloon you need a little piece of cardboard. If you have this much cardboard, then you're in good shape. Okay, that's all you need. And you're going to need some kind of rubber bands. So here's the shape that I cut out. Now I had to cut this piece out like this because my car is super skinny, so it would fit on there. But here's how I made this. Let's measure it just so you can see approximately what I did. This is about 2.5 inches long, and it's about 1.5 inches wide. So I'm going to start out with a piece of cardboard like this. I'll use this white piece because it's easier to see. And what did I say? 3 inches. 3 inches. And about 1.5 inches. Okay, so I'm going to cut out this little piece of cardboard right here. And I got that. Just going to fold it maybe about 1/3 down. That would be 1 inch. Yeah. 1 inch here. I'm gonna fold that right there. Okay. So I got this little L shape. Okay, so now for the hole, I know I'm going to cut in a little bit. And how big is this hole? It's about a little more than it's about 3/4 of an inch across. So I hope you have somebody help you out today. I'm just going to draw a circle there, and let's see how I did. Yeah, it's a little bit smaller than 3/4. So you can use a pair of scissors to try and cut this out, or I have a hole punch, and you can give that a try. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to make this hole, cut out this whole area with the hole punch. So that's a pretty good hole, I hope. We'll find out. If it doesn't work, then you just have to try another one. And now I need to cut a very simple line right down there. Okay, can you see how I cut that there? Okay, so now the next thing I need to do is figure out what the width of my car is. Now if you're using like a Hot Wheels car or something, it might be a little bit wider. I can't imagine you having a car any skinnier than this, but whatever the width of the car is, you need to trim your cardboard so it fits on there. So I'm just going to put this like this and just kind of guesstimate. That guy. All right, there's my balloon holder. So now here's my car. I've got a rubber band. Here's my car. I've got my balloon holder. I've got my rubber band. I'm going to attach this to the car and kind of wrap it tightly. I guess you could use tape too, if you think so. You have to do a pretty good taping job because you don't want this to come off. Wrap the rubber band around tightly so it holds in place. There it is now, so hold on. So I'm going to put the wheels back on my car. Okay, I'm going to clear off the space here. things. Should I try this pink balloon instead of the red balloon this time? Why not? The red balloon was pretty good. All right, I'm gonna blow up the balloon. Now here's the tricky part, and you might need some help with this, okay? I admit this is tough. Blowing up a balloon and then putting it in here while you're holding it, you might need some help doing it. So, pink balloon, and I can't just blow it up a little bit. I gotta blow it up a lot. Wow! I did not expect that to happen. So, I'm going to stick with the red balloon. Did that surprise you? It sure surprised me. Okay, luckily this one didn't blow up. So now what I'm going to do is I'm holding this super tightly here so none of the air gets out, and I'm going to slip it into the little slot I cut right at the top there. Okay, so a lot of stuff going on here. Okay, I haven't let go yet, because what I want to do is make sure that the balloon is not, the air is going to come out of the balloon. Hopefully if you have a newer balloon than I do, it's going to go a lot, it's not going to stick together. This one is kind of sticky. Okay, so I'm going to put this over here like that. I'm still holding the balloon so none of the air is escaping. I'm going to let it go and see if the force of the air will push my car. Not bad. I hope that you can make one of these. And if you do make one of these, please have patience, because it didn't work for me the first time. In fact, it didn't even work the third time. I had to keep experimenting and trying to figure out. There's a lot of variables here that can change. So, but have fun. And if you get a little frustrated, just remember that it's tough. This is not an easy assignment, but I think with a little patience you can do it. Also, if somebody's helping you, I want you to thank them and give them a big hug. I'd love to see a picture of what you come up with too. So if you come up with something cool, please take a picture of it and send it to me. All right. Thank you very much. See you later. And I can't just blow it up a little bit. I got to blow it up a lot. Wow! I did not expect that to happen.